All right, hello once again. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. And what I've been doing is creating a series of video presentations that I'm using to be based off of creating a website. And I've done about 8 or 9 on the hypertext markup language, HTML, which allows us to put content on a page. This is about my 7th one, and it'll probably be the last one, on cascading style sheets, which allows us to style a page. And next I'm going to go into some very, very simple JavaScript, which allows us to do some interactivity on a page. All right, but this is going to kind of be a miscellaneous lecture where I'm going to put a bunch of junk in here, for lack of better words. So I'm going to get rid of the stuff that we had in here earlier. I'll leave the picture, that's fine. But I'm going to get rid of all the text, the rest of the text that's in here. So let's save that. Go back and take a look at this. So now we've just got that. Okay, so those headings, and that's fine. We don't even need the headings, but again, it's totally fine the way it is. All right, let's go back into that. I think that's a div in there. Yep, and let's get rid of what's in there. And let's add a paragraph. All right, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to take the div and just make it a div. And I'm going to put in a paragraph, and I want the paragraph to have an ID. Let's have it have a class. So I'm going to say P dot, because it means I want a class, and I'm going to call it newspaper. So that's going to make, okay, and I'm going to put in here lorem, I don't know, 600. That's going to give me 600 words. And when I go and look at this now, it's not going to look very nice. Where are we? We're right. Did I close that? Must have. So let's open it up with Live Server. There it is. And there's 600 words. Well, when you look at it, it's styled. And it's styled because I didn't mean to, but I accidentally put the styling in first. Let's get rid of the styling. I'm just going to comment this out for a minute. We'll comment it back in and just, or uncomment it in just a second. All right. So it looks like this. And that looks pretty bad. I want this to look more like a newspaper. And I want it to be a newspaper with 3 columns. Okay. So what do? I just come back in here, as I already did, and I can call it anything I want. I just called it newspaper. But I put a column count in here just so you see it's different. I'll make it 4 this time. Okay, so it should be broken up now into 4 columns. And you can see that it is. Now that didn't take really any effort on my part. All right, one of the things that we're going to learn later, because we're going to talk about responsive website design, and that is when we do this. All right, sorry about that. So we've got that. That's the first thing I wanted to show you. And the next thing, because I want to show you it the right way, and there's more than one way of doing it, and I'm going to put in here table zebra stripes CSS. And we'll see, do we have that? Table zebra stripes CSS. How about W3 schools? Learn how to zebra stripe a table. Right? That's zebra striping right there. And sometimes you want to do that just for coloring. So I'm going to grab this and I'm going to put this into my CSS. But before I do, let's go back. And I removed all that. Doggone it. Oh, let's create a real simple table quickly. Okay. So table. And all we're going to do is we're going to put in we'll put in 5 people. Okay. First, let's put in a caption. And then let's put in AWD students. And I'm just going to have, like I said, about 5 of them. Okay. All right. T-head, TR, first name, not a TR, I'm sorry. That's got to be a TH. So try that again. We want a table row, and that row is going to have in it TH, and we'll have a first name, let's just do it like this. We'll say middle name, and we'll put in a last name. Okay. All right, so that's what's going to be in our head. Those three things. I'm going to make up names, so this doesn't mean anything. So this will be our body. And again, we will come in here with, now instead of THs, we'll have TDs. And we'll have Mary, Jane, Williams. All right, so I'm going to put, and that is actually wrong. This should be T-body. This should be moved over. And this should be now a table row. As should this. And this should be moved over. All right, we're just about there. All right, so let's put in like 6 people here. Now, got all screwed up with that, but that's fine. So let's see, let's move this over. And we'll change this to James Earl Jones, and we'll make another one here. Michael Lee Johnson, and we'll make another one here. And this will be Grace Ann Jacobs. So what, that's like 4 of them, something like that. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 2 more to do here. So bear with me. Hopefully it'll be worth your while. I could have left them all the same name, but you know, you understand. So, Gail Marie Klein, and finally, put me in there, Jeffrey Paul Scott. All right. And let's see, there's my T-body, there's my T-head. I think that's all okay. But just so that it sticks out, I'm going to put a border on here. So border equal 1. All right. So how did that change this? Well, there's my table, right? There's AWD students. Okay. And let's make this so it's real easy to see. So just to show you too that you can format a table. So let's go back in here and we'll go to the table. And let's see, let's do a font size. We'll make it 2 rem. We'll make it a nice big table. And we'll say padding 1 rem, margin 1 rem. Let's see, a table is, so we'll say display block margin auto. I don't know if that's done everything I want it to do. And let's actually go and we'll put the border in here. So border, 2 pixels, solid gray. All right. Now I'm going to save that, and I want to remove from here where I put in the border. All right. And I need that gone. So did that make it look better? Well, there it is. I thought it was going to be more centered, and it did not take my border. Let's fix those, and then we'll go on. All right. So it didn't like the border doing it like this. I'm surprised, but it didn't, and that's okay. I'll just remove that. Okay, display block. That's okay. I'm going to say here margin left, and I'll say let's say 20 rem. Okay, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to add that border equal 1 back in again. All right, now what does it look like? There, that's more the way I want it to look. Okay, now does that look good? No, but it's totally fine the way it is. And that border could be cut down, etc. This caption could be bolded, etc. Right? All right, we could space this out too because it doesn't look like it's doing much stuff with the margin and the padding, etc. But that's okay. I'm going to leave it the way it is. All right. And then what I want to do is I want to do this. And then I'm going to put this in and I'm going to come back and explain to you exactly what it is. All right. Well, first, let's see if it worked. All right. Do you notice how these are all, every other row is a different color? Hopefully you see that. All right. Looks like I've changed the background color for everything, but it's totally fine. All right. So let's leave this here. All right. And take a look at what is, come on. There we go. Like that. Now, it says TR nth child even. Okay, so it's starting to count in here. And I think it's starting with this one right here. So 0, and I don't remember if it starts with 1 or with 2. It doesn't matter. But the point is, what we're telling it is that every other color every other line that's in here, we want the background color to be this gray. See that? You oftentimes see that, and there's other ways of doing it than this. But you oftentimes see this kind of thing done on things like tables. Why? Just because, again, when you see the whole thing, it's much easier to read this when the rows are set up like that. Okay? All right, so that is zebra striping on tables. Let's talk about a couple more things. And some of these, again, you've already seen. So I'm just going to go and I'm going to grab some stuff from what we worked on day 1. So I'm going to grab this and I'm going to come in here and quickly pull this out. And we had in there, if you remember, there we go. We had an unordered list and we had an ordered list. I'm going to grab those back again and then close this because I don't need it anymore. But I want to bring this in. And I'm going to remove everything that I put in here. I'm going to even get rid of the picture and everything. So I'm going to get rid of all this, just replace it with that. So right now, it looks just like this. Okay, there's the cooking instructions, etc. If you remember that stuff from before. Why am I taking the time to even show you this? All right, well, I want to mention that if we go in here when we do this, okay, if we go into our CSS, we can go in and we can change what's called the list style type. I'm not doing that at all in here right now, I believe, but I'm going to say, let's see, let's do the UL, LI, and we're going to say the list style type, and it's going to show us the options that we have. So we can, by default, it's got a circle. And if, in fact, by default, it's a disk. So disk. All right, did that change anything? Don't understand why this is being pushed way over there. Get rid of all this stuff because I'm not using any of it anymore. All right. Oh, there's the main menu, padding and margin. Okay, I don't want those. No, that's the main menu. So, yeah, that's pushed. Oh, I know why. It's because of the default that's in there. We have turned off all of the padding and all of the margin. So let me add some of that back in. I think I'm adding it in the right place. We'll know in a minute. Okay. All right. And see how I've got the periods there? In fact, that's way too much. So let's, for the margin, let's put like 0.25 rem. All right. Let's try and make this look a little bit more manageable here. What did I do? We'll leave it the way it was. It was showing before at least. So, all right. So we've got that. And now I've got list style type disk, right? And it looks like these things here. If I didn't want any there at all, of course, I could just come in and I could say none. Okay, all right, that's fine. And you'll notice they're gone. I can also come in and I can say circle. And that'll be a circle that's not filled in. See that? And I can also say square. Those are the built-in ones that I have. What if I don't like any of those? All right, so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go to images.google.com and I'm going to find a star thumbnail. All right, I just want a little one, so let's see. That one should work, and I'm going to make it smaller anyway. So I'm going to save my image, and I'm going to save it right here, and I'm just going to call it star.jpg. And I've shown you this before, so there it is. And I'm going to open it up with Paint, and I want to check the size of it. So I go to Home, Resize, and I click there. And it's 225 by 225, which is way too big. So I'm going to try to make it 50 by 50. And that looks pretty good. In fact, I can probably make it even a little smaller than that. So let's come in and make it, I don't know, 30 by 30. That looks good. All right. And I'm going to save that. All right. So when I go in, you can see how small it is compared to the other stuff, which is totally fine. But when I say the list style type, I think I can come in, and I hope I'm giving you the right syntax. I can say URL images slash, it already looks like it's wrong, star.jpg. All right, so that's probably wrong. So let's see. All right, I want to put in, like I said, our own URL in there. List style type, custom. Okay. That's what I want. It's list style image. So that was my error. So list style image. Image is star. So let's see if that fixed it. It did nothing. List style image, URL, images star.jpg. Oh, they want it on the UL. Let's see if that fixed it. All right, well, I've got the dots back, and that's good, but it's not recognizing. It is star.jpg. List style image, URL, images, star.jpg. That's totally legit. Let's cut this down to 1 and 1. Make sure that that's even working correctly. All right, what I want is I want these to be changed right there, and they're not being changed. Well, I thought this would be the last one of these that I was going to go over, but I guess I'm going to have one more, and I'll come back with that in a minute.